what's up, Nerd Variety Podcast? This is a new episode, and I am Josh, and I'm joined today by Hunter Running Man Rafferty, and we're also joined by Hannah Hoopla Hogan.
I don't know what that means, but
Hoopla.
hello.
Hoopla!
But we're talking about our favorite sci-fi weapons. We're actually going to sell you our favorite sci-fi weapons.
And if you send us money, we will accept it, but we don't actually have anything to give you.
Yeah.
No.
So,
Undying gratitude.
yes.
Yeah. So these are weapons that have a technological basis to them. They can be, from an advanced human society, or they can be from an far-off alien society. They can't be tied to like a mystical energy force. They can't be tied to magic. They can't be made with any mystical stones or, So, and these are ones that you can find in all of your favorite sci-fi shows, movies, and games. So, without further ado, let's start. My friends, I am going to sell you the cold gun used by Mr. Freeze. Are you a cold-blooded person? Any show fans? Anyone?
Yeah.
Oh, we have a cold-blooded person here.
Yeah.
Do you want a weapon that leaves a literal chill in the air?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Well, the cold gun is the weapon for you. You can freeze anything: people, bodies of water, buildings, surfaces, and you can make a lot of cool puns. Wow.
Can you freeze a dinosaur in a museum?
Yeah. Yes, you can. Yes.
Hmm.
What kind of temperatures are we talking about here?
Sub-zero, colder than cold. Yeah, it has a lot. I personally like it because, if I had it in my day-to-day, I could, make any day cooler, especially living in the middle Georgia area where it's hot and humid. I just make it snow, or just make it like 2 degrees cooler, which would be just amazing for me.
That sounds more like a weather device.
Yeah, I was going to say, so does this actually have control? Like, do you have a temperature setting for it, or does it just freeze everything?
It's more of a, like, how much power you can pulse out of it. You can set it to low, to where it just targets and isolates a small area, or you can make it, like you want to freeze that dinosaur you were talking about. Boom, it's frozen. But it may cost a little more power.
Okay, so why? Let's say I already have a cold gun, like one made by Star Labs. Why would I want this cold gun?
This one's bigger.
Don't I want one that's smaller and easier to manage?
No. So you gotta send a message that you are a cold person. You have a cold, frozen heart, and you want to see the whole world freeze.
It seems like
I'm interested in some more non-aggressive applications of this weapon.
Yeah.
Right? Are there ways that you could defend yourself without actually hurting people?
You could as far as not indirectly hurting them, you could create a wall of ice. You could create a icy floor in front of you. You could freeze their weapons and make them as brittle as glass. So, yes,
I don't know about
maybe
that, but
put it on layaway.
I'm not sold.
Yeah. Well, I think about this one as in it would be great to use basically on any kind of enemy. People, robots, zombies, aliens.
White Walkers.
I'll get back to you on that. We're still in beta testing.
The argument against zombies is a good one, because I feel like freezing zombies is a good way to go.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems a little. There's not a lot of applications to it that I'm finding.
Well, I'm starting to think, Hunter, that you might just lack creativity.
Maybe, but I haven't really been shown the creative.
Now, I have seen models that are smaller. So if you're looking for more of a comfort carry, or be a little more inconspicuous, there may be some smaller devices in your price range.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But yes, I've always liked Mr. Freeze has always been one of my favorite villains, and I've I liked just how he's not, you can't really fight his way through him because of the cold gun. So it's more of it's a very stop you in its tracks weapon. Nothing you can really punch your way through, so to speak. So that's my first weapon.
Cold is good, but sometimes you want something that can be, that can heat things up. Sometimes melting is a better application of something, especially if you're fighting someone who does have a cold gun. But, more than just melting, you might be able to slice and deflect attacks from other people, slice through armor, flesh very easily. And there are many, many other applications. Of course, I am talking about the lightsaber. Lightsabers are a tool used by the Jedi. Once they have completed their training, it is their duty to, it is part of their training, the ending of their training, to find their own crystal.
What kind of crystal?
It's it starts with a K. It's a kyber crystal.
Okay.
They find a kyber crystal on Ilum, usually, and they use it to construct the perfect weapon. It is elegant and sophisticated. It's a tool of the Jedi. The straightforward one, the standard edition, is it's a good size. It has a single blade and a hilt that you can be handled with two hands or one if you're agile, I guess. And it's your preference. They also have curved hilts if you prefer to be a little more stylish. Beyond that, they have there are dual-bladed ones. You want a more classic style as well, something with a guard, a cross guard maybe. There's one of those.
Sounds useful.
It's a cross lightsaber. It can be very useful at stopping other attacks or getting people right in the shoulder whenever, just catching them off guard with it. There's even a whip version of it. It's less practical in many applications. It's not as good for defense, but you can definitely be very offensive with it. And if you're a short person or just prefer a smaller blade and everything, then you can get I think they call it a shoto. It's like the one that Yoda uses. So many different varieties, find the one that suits you. And they have many applications. You're being attacked, someone's shooting at you, just deflect it right back at them. You shoot them, hit them right back with their own weapon.
Are there any uses for them outside of the battlefield?
Why, I'm glad you asked. Are you stuck behind a large metal door that you can't get through? Easy. Activate your lightsaber, put it right through the center. It'll just melt it away.
Seems like a very
not great for espionage.
Yeah.
Sure it is. They're not loud.
These are very messy use for a lightsaber.
Okay, so that's one use.
So is this the same thing as an energy sword or a laser sword?
No, because this is much more elegant, and instead of it being active and taking up a lot of space all the time, it can easily be deactivated and just fit right in your pocket or on your hip.
Nice. What about
is there any sort of... Sorry, go ahead. I think we're going to do the same thing.
I'm looking at safety. I'm worried about the younglings here. They can.
My phone sometimes turns on in my pocket. If that's a lightsaber, I'm in trouble.
Well, you can always keep it in your astromech droid for safekeeping.
Yeah. It doesn't seem really accessible.
It does. You need it. You just say R2, and then he'll shoot it right to you.
Is that a package plan? Do I get an R2 with it?
You should already have an astromech droid. Okay. We are selling those as a bundle, should you require. But there's also there's a safety feature on it.
Well, I'm more worried about the younglings. I mean, they could literally poke their eye out with that.
It's all right. Anakin is a great instructor for children.
So what I'm hearing here, Josh, is that the developers of this product do not care about the safety of their children.
If it's your product, you're the developer. So
I don't know if I would trust a youngling to develop a a lightsaber.
Well,
and
that's
gonna have to
why
cut
all
through
of
anything.
our staff that assemble these lightsabers have to go through years of training, physical, mental, emotional. All of it.
But what if I'm not a Jedi though? Could I still use the weapon?
Well, there is a version available for Sith Lords. All you have to do is kill your master and steal theirs.
Okay. Sounds risky, but could work out. Could work out in my favor. What if I'm not force sensitive?
No problem. Anybody can use these. It's as easy as a click of a button.
Okay. Would I be in the same, what are the risk of using it as a non-force user versus a force user?
Absolutely none.
Cool. I have to check my credits. Get back with you.
Okay. On a very different end of the spectrum, I have a product that is designed for use of force, but only when necessary. I'm talking about the Star Trek phaser. Talking about phaser technology in general, because there are a lot of different weapons that use the same technology. There's a handgun and a rifle, but it's all the same technology. And they were developed not mainly for attacking other people and killing children, but mostly for self-defense when necessary.
But partially developed for killing children. Okay, got it.
I don't think it's...
But that's what you just said. You said not mostly for killing children, but that implies they are...
Not mostly for killing anyone, only when necessary. And there are a number of other features that you can use.
Other features?
Yes, other features. So you can, of course, kill or actually disintegrate someone if the need arises, but there's a very handy stun setting, which means that if you don't need to show lethal force, that is an option. So if you're traveling the galaxy and wanting to spread peace and not really wanting to get into fights, that's a good option. But there's also some survival capabilities. It actually has a heat function, which you can use to create fire or heat rocks in order to take care of the people around you. You could also use it to cut through the hull of a ship, because you can concentrate the phaser beam and cut through solid metal. So there are many applications, both on the battlefield and off of things that you can use it for.
I use it to heat my coffee?
Probably. As long as you have a really sturdy, it would probably need to be at least a microwave safe mug.
Oh.
If I need to just knock someone unconscious, stealthily, can I beat them over the head with it?
I mean, you could, but there's a stun setting, so you could do that from a distance, which seems even stealthier.
Nah, but I really want to beat some people in the head with a gun.
It might take you a couple of tries.
Yeah, it's pretty lightweight, not really designed for that sort of thing.
Yeah. Now, is it more of a pew pew pew, or is it pew pew? What's the rate of fire?
A pew.
So a one shot.
Like a long sort of extended pew.
So
okay.
Well, and especially if you're trying to cut through the whole of a ship.
It doesn't have much of a rate of fire.
We're talking a church. We're talking church pew pew pew, or we're talking about just
Yeah, the Catholic Church. It's a really long pews.
Oh, amen.
Yeah. No, but it does. You can change sort of how it fires. There is actually more of a burst setting, or you can have it more focused, and you obviously need a strong focus beam if you're going to be cutting through the hull of a ship.
Okay.
But you can make some adjustments as to how much you're going to be shooting.
I think I'll look into that. Anyway, my next item for sale. Guys, are y'all afraid of ghosts?
No.
I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
I like your confidence, because I myself am afraid of ghosts. I don't know if I've ever come in contact with one. I don't know if I ever will. But I don't like the idea of having to fight a ghost, because what do? You're just gonna be in the room with one. They're gonna look at you. They're gonna scare you. They're gonna get in your face.
What can they do to you?
Well, it depends on the canon that we're talking about here.
Yeah. You got your ghosts that are, mostly just intangible. Some that can do the whole, move things around the room.
Supposedly, rock salt and a shotgun works pretty well.
Anyway,
I'm sold on that.
But if you don't have rock salt or a priest nearby, you can't worry. What are you gonna do if you got a ghost? Who are you gonna call? So, with this thing though, you can successfully contain a ghost with the proton pack. Proton pack uses differently charged particles to hit a ghost, to contain it in a field of some sort, and then suck it in to a handy storage unit.
So to to reference something I don't know if you guys are gonna get, sounds very similar to like the Fenton thermos from Danny Phantom.
I'm pretty sure this preceded the Fenton thermos.
I mean, but
those guys are all flash and
still
so animated. We're looking at nasty green blobs and horrible mummy.
I'm saying like as an item, it's pretty silly.
I mean, you're efficient. When carrying that thing on your back, you know everyone knows what you're about. But you're going in, you're gonna bust those ghosts, and you're going to get them out of house and home.
How easy is it to carry around?
I just lift it up, strap it on, make sure your settings are right.
Are there any potential dangers?
Yeah, it sounds like it takes an experienced technician to get this right.
I mean, I feel like any cab driver or a bus driver could potentially use one. It's just more of like seems like more of a point and shoot thing. Or if you've handled a heavy duty vacuum cleaner, if you've worked in that sort of area before.
Okay, but potential dangers.
I mean, you don't want to aim it at people, or you definitely if your buddy's got one too, and you're both trying to bust ghosts at the same time, you don't want to cross the streams, so to speak. You don't want to.
What would happen if you cross the streams?
Some bad stuff. I mean, you could die. He could die. You could, cause a large gooey mess over the whole city that should take years to clean up. And
is it tough to control
millions of property damage? But it's fine. It's not really. I mean, I would recommend lifting, a little bit first. Get some forearm and bicep and tricep strength.
Oh, well, it's not for me then. A limp noodle arms.
Yeah. Just make sure you have but it helps you. It gives you some confidence to keep your wits about you when fighting these spirits, these specters. Personally, I like having this to take care of ghosts, because what could you do against a ghost if you aren't a priest or have access to rock salt and understand incantations and all that stuff?
I mean, I'm personally probably calling Constantine, but it's. Yeah, I guess the proton pack is fine too.
I try calling his number. I always go straight to voicemail.
Yeah, he's like that.
Well, I want to see. Do we have any interested parties? Anyone?
I don't know. It sounds like my life, the risks outweigh the benefits.
Yeah, that's kind of what
considering
I'm hearing.
It
sounds kind of complicated.
The frequency with which I interact with ghosts.
It's not worth it.
Well, I mean, I hear some rumor about a potential, there could be some sightings in the summer of this year. You got to be careful.
Do you ever get lonely when fighting other armies or maybe mercenaries?
I'm generally a team player
around space. Yeah, I mean, and it's really good to have that team, right? Sometimes like being solo and going for the stealthy on foot option, that can be nice, but it's what is a really wonderful thing to have when going into battle? A giant mech that you can also interact with and control.
It seems like it would be distracting.
The Titans are quite helpful. First of all, you can customize them as much as you want with many varieties, many different options.
You mean I can get it like in pink or?
Yeah, yes. Or fire engine red.
Yes, and you can get like a flamethrower attached to it, or you can get an electric cannon attached to it.
But not just cosmetic.
Smoke bombs. No, but that too. You can do cosmetic or utility based. And the best thing is you can either be inside of these things controlling them yourselves with your buddies, or you can ride on top of one while it goes and does its own thing. That way you double your firepower. Or you can run around separately while it helps attack your enemies and defend you as well. And
Is it autonomous, or do you have to be controlling it while also running around on the
Yeah.
battlefield?
Does it have a personality?
It does have a personality, in fact.
Hmm.
They talk, and they can be very friendly if a bit straightforward.
So I don't have to
Sometimes.
be trying to fire my own weapon while also controlling this robot.
This thing is totally self-automated with a manual option, should you choose.
Okay.
So
If it's
quite
if it has a personality and you're using the mental or the manual option, that kind of feels like you're killing it.
Whoa.
That is not the case. In fact, it is more like mutual cooperation.
Symbiotic relationship.
Yes, symbiotic
Okay.
relationship.
Okay.
Eh,
Okay. Yeah.
or parasitic.
I'll say symbiotic.
You're not taking anything from each other. You are simply helping each other.
Well, then again, you are kind of hijacking its
Using it
free
as
will
a-
sometime.
Yeah, but you're also helping to give it life and keep it safe.
Yeah.
And if it gets shot a bunch of times and you're safe on the inside, well.
Oh, you are not safe on the inside. You have an eject button, and that thing will blow up immediately. But luckily, its personality and all its memories are saved to the cloud.
Cloud storage. I like it.
Yes.
Now, what's the firepower on this thing look like?
These things are absolute beasts. Again, you can customize. You can make them as lethal or as deadly as you want.
But apparently blow up very easily.
Not easily, but quite easily. Yes.
How is it talking here?
Huh?
What's the durability on these things?
The durability is quite significant. However, I would also remind you that it is up to the skill of the pilot.
Are the robots' memories of dying uploaded to the cloud?
Only if you choose that option. That's with the free version, and the premium version, they are not.
Okay. Yeah,
So I have to pay extra for my robot not to have to relive its death.
That is correct.
I like my robots with a little PTSD.
Yeah. See, and it works for some people. So what do you guys think? Can I mark you down for a Titan?
Maybe as a companion, just to hang out in my house with me, but not anywhere where it might blow up.
Yeah.
All right.
I think I'll take one for a demo, for a test run,
Okay.
Go around the city, blow some
Sounds
buildings
good.
up,
I will mark you both down for a Titan, and if you want, you can try them out on our test battlefield.
Okay. Against someone else's Titan?
Yeah.
Cool.
Me and mine are just going to hang at my house and have tea. Unless that's going to blow up the Titan as well.
No.
Is it waterproof?
I don't know. I haven't tried.
Get back.
We're going to try because we're going to try to drink some tea.
Get back to me on that.
All right. Hannah, you have another weapon to show.
I do. And as we progress, my weapons are getting further and further from traditional weapons, but definitely still classified as such. I focus mostly on versatility because I think that anything that you buy should not just have applications on the battlefield, but off the battlefield. And the perfect example of that is a web shooter. Definitely has some practical battlefield purposes. You could tie up enemies. You can, one of my favorites is covering their mouths so they can't speak and communicate with their friends. That's a fun one. But there's also a lot of really creative stuff you can do in terms of getting around and navigating. And spider silk, I don't know if you know this, is super, super strong, stronger than steel, way more flexible than steel, and actually can conduct electricity and heat. So there's a lot of applications for stunning people and zapping them, or for some more humanitarian efforts with heating and electricity.
I don't know. Sounds like how big are these web shooters?
They fit on your hand, easy peasy, about this big, kind of like a glove, basically.
If
we'll include some spider silk refills.
If I use these, how easy is it? How easy is the cleanup?
That is not your problem.
If I'm going to be using these around my house, then it seems like it would definitely be my problem.
Around the city too, because I don't want to hold up I don't want to hold up traffic or hold up infrastructure with tying up people or
this seems like it could be very dangerous.
Yeah.
This seems to me, based on a lot of this, if you're saying it's not my problem and it's not easy to clean up, then this sounds like just a weapon that only a menace would use.
I don't have a response to that.
Now, how can you clean up with spider silk? What's the timeline on it?
Well, it is made with a chemical formula, so all you need is a counter chemical to sort of dissolve it.
Okay.
Is this counter chemical included in my purchase? Okay. How
Okay.
easy is it to use?
You just gotta wear gloves, don't get on your hands.
What if I forget my gloves? How screwed am I?
Well, just go buy gloves.
Okay.
If I were to shoot one of these, you said to use for travel, traversal, whatever. How, like, will it do most of the work in leveraging me, or will I need to have some kind of super strength?
The biggest thing you got to worry about is the physics of all of it. You got to make sure you've got some momentum. I recommend starting out on like a school playground, between houses, just sort of navigating short distances before
that
you
seems
move
to
to
create
like
a lot of problems
cityscape.
for a lot more people right there.
You're right.
Why?
So probably not start
on
those
children.
No, not on children, on the playground.
Yeah, that's essentially affecting
So
children
maybe
like immediately.
Yeah. So maybe start in a back alley somewhere, and then work your way up. Maybe not immediately start from one skyscraper to another one.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But if you're using it in a back alley, someone's using that alley probably for their business.
Yeah.
So this sounds like it's just a menace to anybody in society.
Yeah, corrupting small businesses. I mean,
I'm just confused as to why Hunter thinks that there are always children on every playground.
I'm just saying, children
like, have you
use
never
playgrounds.
Yeah, but you swing around on the playground and then you clean up afterwards and you go home.
But what if you don't have enough? What if there is not enough provided of this counter agent to clean up all of it?
We always provide enough of the counter agent to exactly cancel out how much web fluid you have.
Can I quote you on that?
Yes.
I will.
Okay. All right.
There will be a lawsuit if that does not follow through.
It sounds like a useful weapon to use. Non-lethal. How?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Can this be turned lethal? Should someone choose to use it?
Right.
Such?
If I would like a quick and concealed way to kill someone.
I mean, honestly, the only limitation to this tool is your imagination.
So it could be used for lethal and deadly purposes.
If that's what you want to do with it, sure.
That's not what I want to do, but if somebody else were to get their hands on it that had the intent of doing something wrong, then you're saying
Let me say that
there's
there's nothing that you could do that would be lethal, like, directly from the web shooters, but you could hypothetically use them to assist you dropping someone off of a building.
Oh, okay.
So what's the breathability through this? Like, if someone were to be shot with it, like,
just
covering
don't cover
up their
their
nose and mouth?
Don't cover their nose.
Well, what if it just happens? What if it's...
That's user error. We are
Sounds
not
like
liable.
you might have to... Sounds like you might have to have some advanced sense to operate.
We
will give you a license and a training course.
Okay.
No.
It seems like it's just too easy to use in the wrong way. So
that's why it's very expensive.
I cannot endorse this.
Yeah.
I
would hope I could afford it. I mean, I'm pretty sure I make more than what a newspaper photographer would, but
yeah.
Okay. So I could afford it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, so my third and final weapon that I am selling to the masses is one of my top melee weapons of all time. It is the gravity hammer. Now, I was thinking, it's a giant hammer. What's so great about a giant hammer? Well, this hammer does a lot of stuff. It can, as the namesake implies, manipulate gravity to a small degree. You've seen the big ones, the Fisk of Rut, Corpse Maker, the ones that can pull people toward them or push people away. With those big name ones, you have, your smaller, more, easy to access ones. And, imagine you're surrounded by enemies and your quarters are getting cramped. They're coming at you from all sides. What do? Oh, look at this. You have a giant hammer to smash one across the room and hit the ground and force enemies away from you and cause fear and trembling within your enemies. Doesn't that sound like fun?
Yeah, always.
Yeah. It also has a bladed attachment to it, so you can cut through things if need be. Yes, and it's a very handy weapon to use for and something you could use to take care of in a desperate situation, or just to show your a sense of power and authority.
As per usual, I'm interested in some off-the-battlefield applications.
Naturally.
Off the battlefield applications. Okay. Well, it would work pretty much as any kind of deterrent. I'm pretty sure if you walk out on the street, no one's going to think twice about coming up to you. If maybe you have something that's a large object that's fallen on the ground, like a tree. Oh, this tree is in my yard. What am I going to do? Bam, it's gone. No more tree.
What happens to the tree?
Tree's gone. Tree is flown away, or it's in half, or it's just not.
It splinters and kills everybody unfortunate to be in the path of.
Well, we strongly encourage that everyone use it with responsibility. I mean, you don't have to be some brute going around and with it. And
what you're saying is that this thing has great power, and with that great power comes.
That was the last product.
You don't have to have responsibility. I mean, it is. You can use it how you want to, because it's more of a fear. It's a weapon that inspires a lot of fear.
So basically, what I'm hearing is you can use it to smash stuff.
Yes.
Whether that's on the battlefield or off the battlefield, we're just
remember, stuff. Use great power responsibly.
Yes. But you could also use it to launch yourself into the air if you need to. You can swat away projectiles or
baseballs. I think I would like to launch myself into the air.
I'm sorry? I
said I don't think I want to launch myself into the air because the coming back down part seems like it would be dangerous.
Well, yeah, I'm sure you would plan for that. I mean, you could.
I was like, that's not my problem.
What if I'm building something and I have a giant nail? Can this hammer it in there?
Yes, it can.
Okay.
Hammer away. Or tell your friends it's hammer time, because you're going to take care of it. A lot of applications it has. I strongly recommend this to anyone who enjoys a good throwdown, smashing. Yes. Yes. Yes,
Can you smash pumpkins with it?
You can smash pumpkins with this, yes.
Okay. That does sound like fun.
Yes. Heads, pumpkins, aliens, humans.
Watermelons,
ancient alien, machines. Grenade. You can hit grenades or rockets back, very, very precisely, but you can still hit them back.
It seems like it would take a good bit of practice and finesse to properly use this item.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you want to make sure you're in, you can handle the, the back blow of it.
It sounds like you need a lot of strength.
A little bit, And I've always enjoyed the gravity hammer. It was just one of the weapons that causes all that always kind of terrified me whenever I was fighting brutes. But also, I enjoyed the feeling of having it against enemies because I knew that I was good for a good few licks, several licks.
A lot of these just sound like such brutish weapons. It sounds like you just, Josh's. It sounds like you're trying to smash things and
Josh smash
laser things.
Yes.
And whatever. I don't know, but wouldn't you guys prefer something don't you really want a weapon to frighten your enemies?
That's what I
rather than hurt them?
Well, I will tell you, do you know the greatest weapon that anybody can have? Fear.
Brain. Oh,
fear.
Or fear.
Fear is the greatest weapon. And why is that? Do you know? Because it can immobilize somebody. It can get them to do things that they wouldn't otherwise do. It has untold, just endless possibilities. And it's not always easy to make somebody scared. You have to know what makes them scared and use that to your advantage, or you have to find something that you yourself would deem frightening to others. But that's not always going to work. You know what does work? Scarecrow's patented fear toxin. Now, this thing, it's a biological weapon. It is definitely a war crime if you use it.
Yeah.
And
I think Geneva Convention says something about all this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you can scare the crap out of the Geneva Convention, too. You can get them on your side. You can tear them apart. And the best thing, you can get close. You can stay far away. This comes with a nice mask that filters it out. Anything, like, you can get up close and personal. If you're in a fist fight, you will immediately have the advantage. Or you can use it at a safe distance. You don't even have to be in the same country as the people that you're trying to attack with this. All you have to do is launch a bomb somewhere, set it wherever you want, get it set off. That is up to you. That's your job. But, you get this thing going, a city will tear itself apart.
Some of this can be used for some terroristic organizations.
Definitely can be.
Yeah, I'm wondering what sort of non-aggressive purposes this could be used for.
Are there any recreational uses for this?
Definitely. The high that you get from facing your greatest fears is just unbelievable.
Does it wear off over time?
It does, but way past the time the damage is done.
So you should not use it on yourself.
You can use a tiny little bit. It's kind of proportionate to the dosage that you use.
How does this work? This fear toxin work?
Well, again, you can have any number of containers for it. It's easy to move from one form to another in terms of containers. I personally prefer using it on my hands, a more personal touch. Sometimes, I use it in needles, and that's just straight injections into the bloodstream of my enemies.
Do you clean them afterwards?
Yeah, because you have to use clean needles. Otherwise, it's just disgusting. That's really bad. That's dangerous if you don't use clean needles. So yeah, you can do that, or you can kind of have a little pouch that you can control in your wrist, and you can kind of spray it right in your enemy's face. And again, you have it will do whatever it does to whoever you were trying to use it against. You don't know. It may cripple them. It may have people turn on each other if that's what you choose. It has many different applications.
So it sounds like it has two applications, which are hurting people and getting high.
I didn't say get high.
Or getting other people to hurt people.
Yes. We are talking about weapons here. I'm just saying.
Well,
we're not talking about tools.
We are talking
about weapons. I would not recommend it for recreational use, but it was asked, and I had to say that is definitely a thing.
I'm saying as a weapon, it's kind of a one-trick pony.
But some people do really. They have lost the ability to feel fear, and I feel sad for those people. So sometimes it is good to work on getting this formula to be as powerful, as potent as we can get it. And because some people, fear is important, so it's good it has practical medical usage.
It's necessary.
Yeah.
Medical, as in like how medical?
Therapeutic.
Yeah, therapeutic. That kind. It's again, it's like medicine. It can help somebody mentally get that proper state of mind. It's worked It has managed to work wonders on its inventor, even Dr. Jonathan Crane.
On the complete opposite side of the spectrum from Hunter's one-trick pony.
Weapons.
No, not from weapons. I would like to present to you the sonic screwdriver. Now, when you guys think of the word sonic, what do you think?
Blue hedgehog.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Or a fast food restaurant.
Okay. Also good.
A high-pitched noise that I can't hear.
Just
Okay.
a noise. Just
Yes,
a
we're getting
noise
to
because
sound.
a noise is
Right, we're
sonic.
getting to sound, right? Okay.
Mhm.
And what is sound?
It's vibrations.
Vibrations moving through the
Vibrations
air.
through a medium.
Yes, it is. So when we say
Mhm.
sonic screwdriver, what we're really talking about is a device that can control vibrations. Obviously, there are the obvious uses of this, which is creating sound, amplifying sound, things like that. But anytime you could vibrate something for whatever purpose, you could do that. You could use it to stop it. You could use it to vibrate tumblers in a lock. To unlock a lock, you could use it. There are some aggressive purposes for this. You could use it to stop it. You guys, ugh. Are we done?
You were saying yeah.
Are we done?
You were saying.
Depending on what you're trying to do with it, there have been instances
For
of
who?
or of being able to blow up robotics, which is definitely a more aggressive function.
Okay.
It can also tap into the electromagnetic spectrum, which includes light and X-rays and radio waves, and so any sort of electromagnetic spectrum, anything that has to do with vibrating molecules.
You were just pushing that really
It's
way
vibrations.
too hard.
That's what it is. It's vibrations. I'm sorry that
Good.
my physics
Okay,
is
I
like
get it. This
Good.
is a
weirdly
vibrator.
Good. He said it.
hypothetically, but that is not one of its marketed purposes.
That is technically what it is. You were saying it vibrates. It
But
is
It
therefore
does.
a vibrator.
I have another question. How does
Okay.
it work?
Honestly, the science is beyond all of us. I'm just a simple salesperson.
Does
Oh,
this work on wood?
It does not work on wood. That is the only
Josh,
drawback.
I'm not talking about that kind of
Well,
wood.
and I believe it's because you guys. This, I'm just gonna goodbye. It does not really work on living or previously living materials, just as it does not work on wood. It does not work on people. We can't vibrate people. Any other questions?
Yes.
Clearly, there's a lot of
what's-
humor involved in this item, so that's a plus.
So it works by using vibrational frequencies to do what? Just destroy things. Can it repair things?
Absolutely can repair
It
things.
destroys.
like what?
Well, as the name suggests, you could use it to screw in screws. Stop it, Hunter! Oh my god! I knew as soon as I said that. Signals and radio waves to trace things, to track things. You could also use it to deactivate bombs. That's a pretty
How?
cool use. Well, sometimes you just do it by
Unknown.
blowing them up from a safe distance.
Okay.
That's usually how it goes.
Is there a way I can contact the creators of this device? I mean, I think they would. I'm pretty sure they would have good tech support.
They're all still alive, right?
Well, timey wimey wibbly wobbly. It's kind of hard to get a hold of them these days.
So no tech support. That's what you're saying.
No, and there are hundreds of hypothetical uses, and you just kind of have to push buttons until you figure it out.
Okay. No manual. So we're just gonna have to. You kind of wing it.
But
really.
none of them are like immediately aggressive, so you can kind of safely push buttons and just kind of be like, "Oh, that did that. That was interesting."
Okay.
It's a learning experience.
Sounds very iconic. Very far. Very out of this world.
And similar to the phaser that I talked about at the beginning, was not originally designed for aggression, but definitely has some ways that you could utilize it to defend yourself in a very direct manner.
Well, those are some interesting sales pitches, guys and girls.
I hate you, Hunter.
It was your fault. Josh was
you.
laughing just
I'm
as hard as
trying to be scientific about what is sound.
So, of all these weapons, we went sci-fi, but what seems the most realistic in our opinion?
I think a Star Trek phaser is something that could be hypothetically. The one thing that I do wonder about is actually the possibility of a stun setting, because I just don't know sort of anatomically what goes into that. But definitely having a device that you can use both to kill someone, but also to sort of start a fire or heat up objects or cut through metal, right? Some sort of laser that can fit in your pocket, I feel like is a pretty reasonable thing to create.
It's definitely got to be the fear toxin.
I was thinking that too.
Like that's very, very likely, I guess, or believable.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're just talking about
Realistic.
trigger, like adding specific chemicals to the body.
Yeah.
You're using hallucinogens in a certain
Yeah.
a certain kind, like using
You're activating a certain part of your
LSD or-
brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we can synthetically create oxytocin and things that make you
Yeah.
happy and feel good,
Yeah.
no reason to think that the opposite isn't true.
Yeah, I guess some things that target the amygdala and make people, relive memories that make them afraid or make them see, and just have the amygdala start firing, saying,
But I do think
that's
it's
what
interesting
I see what I'm afraid of.
because while you talk about like in terms of science how realistic it is, I definitely agree that it's one of the more realistic.
Yeah.
But at the same time, because of the laws that we have put in place and the fact that it really does only have one purpose and that purpose is really terrible,
Yeah.
it will never
I don't
happen.
think anyone would.
Whereas a
do
Star
that.
Trek phaser, like I could actually see someone trying to design something like that.
I mean,
And then
well,
getting
if
like
you-
government grants, like getting
yeah.
permission to do that.
all the grants if you can actually make it work.
Yeah.
But there are some good. I guess you could use that fear toxin or maybe not so much a toxin, more of like a fear, inducing drug to make people become less afraid of, or let them experience their fears instead of that whole,
kind of the idea of like a vaccine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where if you
exactly.
give someone like a small taste of what they're afraid of, and they kind of like ramp them up.
Yeah.
But I
can see
also feel like it could. I just feel like the negative uses are like way more obvious and powerful. Like it could very easily be used as a torture device, and that's like going to a really terrible, really really terrible place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah. But anyway, I hope everyone has enjoyed our sales pitches, and let us know in the comments. Somehow let us know which ones you like more. What are your favorite sci-fi weapons? Remember,
Do you want to see something like this again?
Yeah. We've thought about talking about fantasy weapons or.
You're trying different things.
Yeah.
Anything.
Spirit.
Just maybe we could do a segment if we wanted, or special episodes every once in a while called sales pitch.
Yeah.
Sales pitch.
Yep.
I promise I'll get better at it eventually.
Yeah, hopefully we all will.
Yeah, we'll go.
Mostly Hunter.
Yeah.
You mean mostly Hannah, because we don't want you to be talking about those kinds of weapons.
Yeah. We'll all go to a seminar. But that's it. That's it for this week's episode. What's next week's episode?
Next week we're talking about adaptations, which is kind of a big topic. I'll try to I'll try to narrow it down a little bit, but yep, movies to books, books to movies, games to movies, movies to games, all over the place.
Et cetera.
Whatever. Yep.
All those.
So yeah, we'll see you guys then. Until then, until next time, nerd out.
Peace out.
Bye.
Later.